Good morning, Tashidele, Khenchen Rinpoche La, Kenbola, La Lama, all interpreters, and hello everyone. So welcome to section 16 of Gongchig today. Let's start with my mandala offering.
Hoàn toàn giải thoát khỏi những ràng buộc của chân và huyễn, siêu vượt danh tự của các tướng sinh diệt và trụ, siêu vượt đến và đi, lấy và bỏ. Mạn Đà La tối thượng chính là cảnh giới tâm nguyên sơ, chúng con xin dâng cúng toàn bộ, và qua đó nguyện cho chúng con được gia hộ để đạt được đến cảnh giới Phật.
Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the name and attributes of arising, cessations and abiding, coming and going, affirmations and denial. The Supreme Mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Dakini Ratna Mandala Pratisashoha.
Sanje Chudan Soji Jonam Lai Champion Pardo Dane Jazun Dage Jinzo Jibe Tonam Dola Venture Sanje Druber Sanje Chudan Soji Jonam Lai Champion Pardo Dane Jazun Dagi jinso jibi chonam ji dola penchir sanjin drubar shu.
Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Mahanam gada nyambe simjin tamjin dewa tang devi judan dembra jurun jin dunghe dang dunghe jin judan chevra jurus dunghe mebe dewa tang mendravara jurus Nyeren chadan nyedan charve danyam la nebra jurun ji ma namgada nyambe simchen tamjen dewa dan dewe judan dembra jurus Dunghe dan dunghe je judan chevra jurun ji dunghe mebe dewa dan mendravara jurus Nyeren chadan nyedan charve danyam la nebra jurun ji
All mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May they never spirit for happiness which is free from sorrow.
Changche wadan chechen shabadan jiso ye rang gushen surwa ye gewa jungse dagi jisa tamche zobe chanchu chenpuru
Whatever slight virtues I've accumulated through prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and requesting, I dedicate it all for the sake of complete enlightenment.
Sajim buju chujim medo zhang rizhive linje nide jimbandi sanje shindu mide pruwai Drogen namda shindu jubar shu kusum yungzo lame zonamda china sansum deshin nijin chu Dalu longju nazi yongshi la lamin chogi Mudra zardu su umen guru devanda generana mendala pardezaye soha.
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it, may all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha field. To the Lamas who possess the three kayas, I offer the outer, inner, and the sacred offerings. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment.
Samchen namje samba tang loye cheta chetrawa chechung timon tebai chechen kolo kolo so.
Please stand before the God, the greater and lesser vehicles, and the teachings common to both, according to the dispositions and mental capacity of sentient beings.
Kanshi kurve jinsu je zoran jenkara gawana duran zabe ga jurumbu je jiba nambra dobe jen chanlap je chujun je zujin pe yandra se me je je manam ja chewa. Yen rinwa linje drupe drupje trima me be lama tangpa nangla cha zar jen chude jibsan je wo jinje labaran zendu su dojin changwan te lo na ro tang man me tabo khorin je den Gaten samden zawe lama shawa zaju lama yedam chusong la surwan de zo da ju jin je lo jin zing a da tunpa zo san je kandur mangam bar den lam re shira tu je ran shin tarwe lam dam Yung zi xin yen nam la gu cha zar la dang lam je wang bo dang ja jin la zo chu je cho la cha wa che ba nam san je song ra rab du shi jen de we ju jiru Tedan je je dan be chun yen bar yan dri shi shi Namgadanyambe, Simje Tamji Tundu, Tobjalana Mepra Yantabra Zobe Sanjiji, Kumban Tamba, Tobracha, Ti Chedu, Son number Tabala, Surjindun, Jubur Jivu, Nyambe Samba Chanjun Chodu, Lepora Sadam de Sembra Shu, Telandre Kanshi, Sembra Cheve Chune, Tambe Chugumba Chigwegi Jung, O Teni Shubar Chevare, that taken an Anthony Tom, Tatanda, Trupa. Tagum Jubeg, some Tereta Tinane, and Dorsum, Gaji, Shutsane, a train, Denema, Kasanga Dorsum, Sumbag, Keja Kasheji, Shimba, or that in Shur Chevar.
So now, in order to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings, we are here receiving the teachings here, and we have been here, the sixth vital points of view, meditation, and conducts. We have finished some of these, and now we're going to start that, and everybody listen it carefully. Listen.
Oh, yeah, that any Kasanganzo, Tani Dorsum, Sumbate. Junde Kijik Sambe Ranzu in say a Tikorimba, that's Sambe Ranzu soon the Zane Delatane, that Gongchig, Derchen Kada, Tane Jovan Jitin Sungungi, Gambum, that in Sunala, Sambe Ranzu say at Latine Kamanda, Sum Zanjian, Singit in the Yawachia to the somebody. The Indusana that Karisumre say the Zane Tanda was Samba Kijik Ranzu say a cheese on it. 단다와 삼백기 지금랑서 손도산에 단단가랑서 심게 나라 되니지 녀몽백의 심지 제대요나 녀몽 잡고게 심지 제대요나 디왕게 치르게 나와양 대던 템바지 샨루레스 양 계시바나 심게 나라 펜백의 심당 잠백의 심당 닝지의 심당 되니 야 삼는 통보다는 동이게 따와당 야나드는 하이 제рем게 삼는라서 땅 유나 야 대왕게 지르게 나와양 대던 템바 단다랑 고 샤추요레스 배는 안전디 셰당쇼 잡부던데 제윤도 전에 칠로 누보 이동와 남중 가서 이동와 이나양 셰당 제외 값대라 드네 체용으보던 이동모 봐 샨로도 디나신도 차베게 섬쇼 잡부지 제윤도 전에 그냥 그 이동 원외의 거보지 샤링 거로 텐데 인도 전에 되는 안조 변화지 심근나 삼바 대기 중힌도 치료를 샤링도 전에 될라테니 단다와 삼바께 지금 장수 스나 송바래 강보들의
So here on the third verses, we have talked about the causes and results of the manifestation of momentary thoughts. So when we talk about these momentary thoughts, manifestations of the momentary thought, like there are three different kinds of momentary thought which has been taught through the context of the Lord Jiten Sungyen's teachings. And for example, here, the first one is the presentness of a mind. Presentness of a mind, the subtlest level, that is the momentary of our mind. And how it talks about is that when our mind is overtaken by the emotions or the afflictive emotions, when it comes in a momentarily, for example, then it was like overpowered by loving kindness, compassion, or the understanding of emptiness, or it is like kind of understanding of it's overtaken by the generation and completion practice, so forth. Then what happened is the very moment becomes according to what the mind has been visualized or one has been actualized. For example, the inner and outer objects, whatever it is, for example, it corresponds to our mental states. So, like for example, if our mind is overpowered by the anger, then what happens is in the like outer objects also becomes like kind of the anger or sort of the nature of anger. And also like if it is overpowered by the attachment, then it also becomes like a kind of attachment. So very subtlest level of mind, this momentary of the mind becomes like this. And for example, our mind is also overpowered by the anger. Then the very moment, the moment of the mind become the anger, then the outer objects and so forth also becomes like a kind of anger. Lasoda.
Oh yeah. Tene da sambe rangsu nipa de la shimpa sambe rangsu sungge ngangsu shimpa sambe rangsu saying de zane da chidang tandan di kausu kejan do do den ishena sambe rangsu saybe nipa chimbo chimba tengi yorwa tin de zane tandawa samba kejing rangsu saya ten pe nipa chimbo imba song song dan shimpa sambe kejing rangsu sungge de zane penna ngaransu mechen digi nangla teni pe chita gewa ja chimbo ndo ju dumne meche phal chewa de gewe gi lamga chi thola ndo ga chi yin ya teni chi shiga lamu thela teni ya chi ta nganzo u chekama tende chi la samgna la pe shadang thabo chi lang songwa yana samgna la thado thabo chi lang songwa dona nyumong shu thabo chi gi thona shempu songwa yinna tene yang chi mechen din nangi gewa sa chabo gi ndewu de la dan ro marwa yin yang ta chi jewa shuma me ya cha ro re di ing du zane chika me gi samba ke chi me rangsu de gi shen sarwe je la de gi rangsu tum ro re pena shedang gen cham jan ne she swa yin nyarwa la jewa len ro yan ro tene de cha gi cham jer we thone she swa yin ida la jewa la yan ro timu gi tene ji shimpo swa yin tene tunrola jewalan royanro tendegi nengachi cha yungu yore yang tene pena mechen di nala ji gewa shida du matu ta ji gewa da digba ni chena digba te mawan ro du yang mechi ina yang chiga la motela tene yang ji gewe shin la so ba tu tendegi tola tene shiga megi samde pe shiwaji samde pe chambaji samde tene ngaje meba shedang meba simde peji jambu ji ge thone pa samba zambu ji ge thone pa shetu songwa ina tene diwangi jewa chima tela hlada me khomba ngun de unyong yong gu yore tin du zane nganzo penan cheken samjol la pe ke chimure sungdo wa namju na tin du metende tene ta jingaran so sama shin gu ro wa techi du zane ji shewe kabla tene chikamagi sambate zambuji jejuya bezon chegure songre tindu temado tneji shenrong gengi kangsa kin denla yanaji shedang jeyagi kontro jeyagi tneji jenji cha songwa ina yana kola tneji thado jeju songwa ina tne diwangi gone gotene ngesongla sobala jewalen ro nyinga tne yong yo tindu zane chikamagi tne sambate sambape zambuji jeto ga sogure songdowa tneji je songwa ina 디 랑숙 되기 되는 문은 좀 맨로 요래 근데 이 전에 다 대대고 들라더니 류 다단디 제와 삼베랑수 세계로 닦고 챔피언으로 류디 제올로로 제올 로카마 들라더니 삼베랑수데 되는 제오데 좀로 요래 근데 이 삼베랑수 니바데 되래.
So now the second momentary mind is that like the very moment of death, the very subtle mind at the moment of death. And it is stated that our momentariness of our mind is so powerful. It has its own power. Like if you think about like, for example, in this life, we have cultivated many dharma activities or do some virtuous things, but at the same time, at the time of the death, our mind is overpowered by the ignorant or the afflictive emotions. For example, like kind of jealousy, it comes about, then at that very time with the jealousy and also with the attachment, then what happened is one is going to being born to the hungry ghost, or if our mind is affected by the ignorance, then one is going to be born as the animal, or if one is like kind of anger, then one is going to be born as the in the hell beings and so forth. And also when somebody in the life during the lifetime, if they couldn't cultivate much of the practice or do the virtuous actions, but somehow during the time of death, having connections, having meet or link up with the masters or the guru or somebody else, and have a very good mind at that time, the subtlest level of mind at the time of death becomes so kind of the virtuous thoughts and virtuous. Then it is stated that one could able to being born is in a very like a fortunate limb and so forth. So therefore, this is very important. The momentary of our mind is very important. So during the time, therefore, we have been saying when the time of death, it's very important to support the person who is going to die, like with all this kind of the conducive factor to make him or her in a better statements, because what happened is at that moment when the momentary of their mind was overpowered by some kind of anger or hatred or whatever, then this doesn't matter how many the virtuous deeds he has done in the present life, because for the time being, at the time of death, it was all overtaken. It was overtaken by this small momentary mind. So therefore, it is stated that it's very important. The momentary of mind of death is very important. So therefore, for example, when we are dying, also we are going to change our life, change our body. So therefore, the momentary of mind during the time of death is very important. So we have to be very much careful for that momentary of death. So therefore, the second one is the momentary of the mind of death. Lasota.
Yeah. Tene da sumba sambe rangso sumba de tene lu jurwa sambe rangso sta tse mampe pa lu jurwa teba sambe rangso se chik song yore ta te indi san te khare song yore sana tan di peche ji tende yong siba ra chi re yong siba re yong mesiba mare ta yong siba re yang changman de nan shin yong gyu mare de chi du san ne khare re sana pena tene ngumege ta lingshin ra chi ko ne ma shu jana tene gesurji shedang gi pe sam thabo chi gi thone samba pe shedang thabo chi gi thone tene jorwa jena nebe gi le tene tsam yong de zane tema thadu tene dul chewa len so lorju tene so yanda wa ko she yo mare te ina durgi kurang gi zubu de durgi lesun jur so atende song ju yore te inde zane namso pananji nang la tene sem shedang shuk thabo dang ta tende gi mege we gi samba shuk thabo le shuk chembo ji la kom so ina yang anzo chempu ma go wala zubu de ji tundula so bala junrong ge tene yang ko yong sige sare te inde zane da de da u de la tene shemma phu pa lun jurwa tene sambe rangso sana da sambe rangso tela tende ge tene number sum samje song je bare
So the third momentary of a mind is like changing of one's own body, changing of one's own body without being die. For example, sometimes people say that it is not possible, but here it says it is possible, and it's not for all, but in some occasion or some condition, it is possible. And if you look about the history, life story of the Buddha and so forth, then there is a story before one kind of novice monk who got very angry at the time, and during the lifetime he got very angry, and during his lifetime, his or her lifetime, because of the strong sense of anger and hatred. This like novice monk change his body into the form of the snake or the reptiles. You see why? Because of having this kind of strong sense of feeling of anger and hatred and so forth. So this kind of thing, you don't have to die and change the transform of the body, because without dying, because of the strong power, the strong powerful mindset, the momentary of our mind is able to transform your body to the snake or the reptiles, whatever. So therefore here, the third one is like the changing, transforming your body, the momentary mind of transforming the body. Lasola.
Oh yeah, that in dorsong train 이바들에 실레면에 대변주면서 단디 가르치는 순교래 내는 다 가상 공도 코로바다 양면에 내비 취탐체 대장게 섬게 나와 점지 에스 소야 지당 데네테는 안신 내갑기 주던 대부터 상대 삼박계 지금의 장송 되는지 스타지 섬게 장송 되는지 마도 오늘의 치료도 주바지 요 말에서는 송바로와 대송인도 잔트냐 가랑 저기 지 삼론도지 땅인도 잔에 알레다 된대이나 되네 섬게 강 된된다고 지르왜 섬게 야보지 삼소나 야보 샨로야 섬게 두자지 제송아이나 두자 찬로야 된대르왜 세야지 용으로와 다 텔란데네 가르송바 대양 말에 송바래 실름메네 송도 시세한데 단다 동니라양 고고 말에 단다 가수바 시세한데 준데라 고고래 저는 젠라 고고래 나랑 속에 대도 장행게 나와 탐체에 대해서 삼배랑 수래 나와랑 셈제 이내야 삼배랑 수수 샤리아당 나와랑 셈도 샤리아 되라 고 된대지 샤르고베기 저단 젠망보 점점네 샤르요레스 계시변은 저단 젠 된대지 만좀바이나 되는 나랑 속에 지 된대 삼노타와 삼지고네 연주와 템도 말레스 변나 네 행동지로 빼다네 어다 행동의 매래 삼네 가서 삼노탄데와 대점지 행동의 매는지와 템도 말해 야 매지라 따네 어다 맨데 도레 삼네 가서 삼노탄데바이나 야 대점지인지와 태요 말해 근데 인도 전에 제단 sem게 나와제 삼배장수제 이나야 대양 주다 쟁게 땡저기 되는 라왈레 만데바지게 토네 로고레 스티인도 전에 실레메네나 대바점지 대바스는 것도 삼노탄와 점지고네 주바텝식 말해 근데 인도 다 삼배장수당 나와라 셈도 상마데 주다 쟁게 되네지 라왈레 만데바 joda 젠라 라레바 어떤데지레스 텐도 산제 그냥 근데 가르송 바르스는 추 탐체 joda 제바 젠다 제바 선송도와 joda 젠 메바 있는데 추도 용대야 요 말와 어떤데 인도잖아 주젠라 라레바 joda 젠라 라레베 누보 되니 근데 치료도 마루바 삼배랑수 임바 나와랑수 임바 어떤데지레스 대송 바래
So now the fourth Vajra verses. It is not possible that something that does not exist in the fundamental nature can turn into something else by viewing it to be so. So what it means here is like whatever, for example, we have talked about the whatever we view, it's just the nature of mind, or all the like temporarily appearances for us, all the appearances temporarily or in the long term, these are all the like kind of the nature of our mind. So when we talk about these, sometimes people think that, oh, whatever we think about, it comes about, or whatever we reflect in our mind, then it will come about. So then Lord Jiten Singh stated that this is not something like that. Whatever you think will not come about or will not change or will not become like that. It has to depend on its own nature. So here, nature is not, we are talking about the ultimate nature of reality, but rather here nature means the causes and conditions. So it has to be dependent upon the causes and conditions. So it has to be dependent on many causes and conditions like these. For example, if you think about the tree to become like a human being, just by thinking the tree to become a human being, it's not possible. It won't be like that. Or sometimes like we think about the stone to become a human being or human to become a stone or something like that. So it's not possible to become in this way. Just by thinking it, it won't be possible. So reason why is that all has to be dependent or comes under the category, comes under the domain of the causes and conditions. Like otherwise, otherwise it's not possible. So therefore, the causes and conditions are very important to have that the nature to become, and therefore, like relating on the causes and condition, and also which comes about all these things, the impressions or the appearances of our mind, outer or inner or whatever. So this is known as the nature of momentary nature of mind. So this is known as the nature of mind. Lasso. So, for example, like if you have a causes and condition of that, and also if you have thoughts or if you have a view or appearances or such things, then this is known as the nature of mind. Lasso.
Oh yeah. 당한조 단단데 촘데 다금 주베 촘로와 대시리 잔에 다탄다 조 가주바 따와 요번 제대한 순정도 따와 다탄조 고대지당 노르두지 가상 군대 주고 랑기 섬낭 잠세야 된다 준대기지 선배랑소 인세야 되게 땡 외로와 다소 된다 도도 로지 쇼인도 잔에 튼 가르송 거스나 나랑 속에 따와 세야 돼 네 코로와다 냥해는데 왜 추 탐체의 랑게 스미바 타쳐봐 네 샘대양 이메 자데로와 대인도산에 드네지 뚜바 탐제다 퇴외 장신인바 된대고 드네 콘데기 추 탐제 스미게 장신인바 또 샘대양 뭐 뚜바 탐제다 퇴외 장신인바 또바 테라 드는 가랑 속에서 따와서 드네지는 문제 난고에서래 근처에는 전 주다게 내 간전 나가 드네지 송요래 대인도산다 대패치 가지고 상마치 주래 까마바랑 좀 돌지양 드네 송요래 대인도산에 드네 가지고 따와서야 돼 된대지 또바 드네지 토바이나 드네 따와주려 제바 송요래 다디 된다데 다 망치와 지기 라렌 소드마데 지gnyo jere zigure ting tinan di sonyo wata tanda chigware lalen soduna karasona chetaran nawande da rangi semni de teben tadan tar tini shene zunzen semanam yilemeje jerselane sonyo wa ta de tanda tedan tandangaran so gajugi chaching tawa setunda nenga chigi tolaphawi yusare tina karasondosana chidar nawanda da rangi sim sondo nganzo kare nangwa dedu zangi kanreji inaya tamche rangi simnigi nawares ta onna nangingi sim korang kanre seduzane simni döne tüben tadan tar sim koranya ngo yedema ne tübegen tadan jada tawares ti indu tindri imba shene tene zongwa yurdang zimbas simgi namto tamche da tarweki ngangla nyambra shabate 다 장초 선배들이 라랭이 송요와 어디 잔에다 따와서 해야 돼. 된대지 임바래. 디 인디 잔에다 된도 따와 된건 주줄 제벌 제발라. 데블로네 제투 말에 티나신도 지다 되네지 차안 세와단 제반 브루알라서 버튼델라 때네 개와사유 요르데 대잠지 또바제 두 말에 디 인디 잔에다 조 가르고 그러서나 가생난 존데 좀 나베긴 주드나 dorjil lopende pe kechimbre sonson senyi dembaji nigoer pe kechimbre sombare denajin tandan deneyang tenen di sonson karse Shile mena teben jursig mare song song. Then toba jaya layang, jude jen masama ina, not ni chaja chimbo toba jen rore, some deva chibu toba chig mare. Teacher du zane ta juchen pusum soba changurwa, teachin du zane tinin denema, senyi mede yun den chimenu sayati dorsong ngaba de song yung yure. Hanging ngabe tanda jilishu.
So here, like we're in the point of the vital point of the view, meditation, and conduct. So what it talks about is here. So whether it is nirvana or samsara, the view is that all nirvana or samsara, whatever it is, there's no base, and it's based upon all. These are all based on the mind. And even if you go, it's a nature of mind. It talks about whether it's a nirvana or samsara. It is based upon the mind. It's all our mind, form. And this mind also ultimately non-existence. It's not exist independently. So, so you might have read about or listened about the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas practice. In that, in one of the stanzas, it's talked about this, and same thing. It's same here, and what it's talked about is these are all actually free from the fabrications of the reality of the existence. So what it states is, whatever the appearance, everything there is actually the nature of mind. It's the appearances of our mind, and our mind is also the free from all the fabrications. There's nothing there. So therefore, one's own mind is actually not existing there. It's also free from the fabrication, and it is also not existentially true there. So, like for example, like when you talk about the mind and the fabrications of a mind, but somehow in the ultimately, when you try to find out your mind, you cannot find it mind also, because it's also empty. So here also in for example, in the fifth one, the vital point, it talks about the importance of the Vajra Master. So why? Because Vajra Master is very important in order to show us the path, show us the reality, and also the Maha Mudra. It talks about the Maha Mudra, means it talks about also like kind of the nature of mind, but it's at the same time the mind itself is not really existent there. It is also free from fabrications and so on and so forth. Lasula.
Yeah. Ati indi zane ndene senyi mede yunde jemenu sonyan dege tene chaja jimbu toba yang tabaji jule jebar cheballa ta chachin yi changu jida jik karsana lamegi chachin changu re niba de ngarangi ngune chachin changu re pomegi ngune di indi zane di senyi mede yunde jemenu soyan dege zowo 라메기 ngone 창고에 자신대 송고를 대인도 무엇을 라멘 친이 된 말이다. 가르송도서는 책이 무엇을 책이 가르대에서도 라만 친이 된 메덴바이나 로메 줄라 찾아진부 연대 제누 말에스 딩무송도 다 디쇼로 가르송바르스나 다 또바 양다바지 줄라 제버 치발라 라만 친이 된 바지 땡고레스 마도베 카시인데 세게 다 로마 소수는 대바유나 라만천이 되면 제발 요 말에 디인디자네 소수의 대발라라 레이레 세안도 소소로 대바유잖아 책의 소통조라의 정설 총용 그래스 Tichidusane, Laman Seni Deme, then La Legmare, Zo Casanarang, Seni Demaji Gures, the Nesunken Yudre. Ina Tanandene, Jeden Gumbo, Pamotuba Yavsegi Karasungusna, Lachidan Pamotuba Yaset Samare, Sanjigin, Dodang, Judan, O Tinaji, Tenju Tamchen and a song Yavarua, Laman Seni Demaji Gures. Laman Seni Masawayina, then Lomala, Yunte Tumares. Penna, then Drongo Padu Karasumbarsana. 당간도 꾸프로서야 지르와 차차소야게 잘라지 이 코란 나라 르모 야고 여바이나 근데 디나라 양 담파 조용도 전에 담파 대라연 최den게 르모데 베 야보지 되는 거와 근데 꾸프르디 퍼싱도 코란라 르모 자와는 매송와이나 된 디나라 담파지가 조이잖아 그 르모 칸야 되냐 요마와스 베티나진도 라마라드네 도베기 연대 매송와이나 소메지로 도베 연대 제투 마레 송바르 파모드베 따티나신 인디서는 지된 순간 그냥 신이된 메덴바이나 연대지는 거 말이에스. 아 원나 되네 라마긴 신이 간리지 된 거다. 송도잖아 다 망보 여러와 지 도가나라 송요레 주가나라 송요레 신이게 tankal라 다 tankan 도 두쇼들 신이 니데 된 바스 준주나라 송레 다 드네야 송도자는 신이 제단 덴바 쩌단 덴바 니쇼단 덴바 숨쉬던 덴바스는 되니 많은 로도와 이나야 대탐제 출 노르드바이나 되네 다보름 보체 방모 줘봐 지된 송고 숨가르기 송 지과래 신이 숨대지 고래 송요다 당보 송게 다보래 다보게 텐데 송은도 선에 파모 줘배 송가래 파무드베 텐데 송도 선은 이제 된 송고 송요 감범나나 대치도잖아 딱 한달 콘조 송가기 라멘체니 간데지 고레 선은 라만체니 숨도 내바지 고레스 라만체니 숨도 내바 간데지레 선 가르 숨도 내바 고레 세도잖아 시랍 침부 연게 로와 시랍 침부 고네 되니 지 옌라 람친지 몰라고 뗀통게 텐데 시랍 침부 연게 람한 젠통게 세야지 테나진도 양 시랍지고 연아 팽이 말에 디토라 힌지 침부고는 제 만들어가지고 요르데 로 힌지 침부고는 제 만들어와 제 르메봉와 힌지 침부 연게 다 시랍 침부 힌지 침부 테나진도 다단디다 직된 취지에게 토라 로차상 잘 된게지 메센 디게 토라 제와 멘켄지 라마 테네지 고레스 나라 로마 망보요나 나 게다 침부 차그레 삼만다오 나라 로마 망보요나 나 벤주르 침부 차그레 삼만다오 다 테네 라마 옌달레 나 야가 차그레 삼만다오 텐데게 삼는 멘켄지 제된 취지에게 로 탐제다 잘 돼바지 텐데고 테네 천이 숨den기 라마지 땡고레스다 바보름 보체 파모주바 제된 송고다 대남백이 대송바레 tene di tola gongchig de cheng na la cheni sum da dembe tola cheni yiden sen so yung sum de tanji de jibare ta yid demba se yu zane kesi cheni tanda shirap chenbo da ningje chenbo da tene ji chen de la shenba menken ge lama ji yuna di lama de gi chale gare na wa ina tamche chudun temba ji chanu gres de yu zane chudun temba se ya ji ya 내용도 전에 천이 지den지 고래 송바르 텐데다 텐데기 천이 지den기 라마지 유나 되는 로메줄라 도바체 투그레 서야 대송바인 사례
So here the fifth Vajra verses, the guru who does not have the qualifications is not able to produce the qualities. What it means here is like the master should be one who has a realization of Maha Mudra. If the master doesn't have the understanding or the realization of Maha Mudra, then he or she is not able to give the quality, to bring upon the fruition of the quality to the disciples. And like it directly shows the Vajra verses directly points out that our guru should have this kind of quality. And usually people, someone say that oh, it doesn't matter the guru has the like such quality or not. But from the like disciple side, the follower side or devotee side, we should have to have a devotion, a pure devotion, a strong sense of devotion. Then it's okay. So then what the Lord Gyaltsen stated is, this is not the case. One should have to have a master. So there should be like a two quality, one from the masters and one from the disciple. The two quality has to be there. Otherwise, just by having the master side, also it doesn't work without having the faith. And also even like if there is only the faith from the disciple side, but at the same time, if master doesn't have this kind of understanding of realization, then it doesn't make sense, because it will not produce the good disciples, the quality disciple. And they have given here the Pagdru. The Pamadrupa has stated that. So for example, if you have a mold of the like kind of tata, we used to say the tata, where we can print out on the mold. If the print of the mold is not good, or then doesn't matter how you try to bring the mold and try to mold it, it will not come out a good picture, because the point is that the mold itself it doesn't have the good kind of pictures there, because then what it says is, therefore in the same way, if master he himself is not in the good realizations, in the high realizations, or then doesn't matter, he would not able to produce the disciples with the quality. And it's also stated in many sutras and tantras and so forth, and also in the it was required, two qualities required is stated in the Bodhicharya Avatara. Sometimes it's stated 8 different kind of the quality should be required, and also the 12 quality and so forth and so on. So whatever it is, here the Dagpo Rinpoche, the Phamodupa, and Chopa Gyaltsen means they have the same kind of conclusions, coming to the same point. Here, when the master, what kind of master has to have? It has to have 3 kind of qualities. One is to have the wisdom, a great wisdom, who and the very who could able to show the path, the right path to the disciples. And at the same time, the second point is that he has to have the great compassionate heart, who will not disregard the sentient beings or the other sentient beings or the disciples and followers. And the third is the master should not attach to this worldly eight worldly things, attached to if I have many disciples, then people will respect me, people will follow me, or something like that. And this kind of the 8 different kind of the attachment shouldn't be there. Then in the Gongchig also, then here in the Gongchig by the Gyaltsen has added 1, then it becomes 4. And what is the additional quality? So on top of these 3, the same Hamadrupa, Dagpo Rinpoche, and Chopa Gyaltsen are same, but here in the Gongchig, 1 is extra, that is added by Lord Gyaltsen, and it is stated that try to practice or try to show the path which is related to the disciples and related to the Dhamma. So if it is not related to the Dhamma, so what it says is, if you have this kind of qualities, then if the master is actually not having this kind of 8 worldly concerns or 8 worldly, the wants and needs, then one will not do which is not related with the Dhamma. So he will do related to the Dhamma. So therefore, altogether, there comes the 4 characteristics of the masters. That's all.
다테네 단단데 dorji송 주바데기 다 주바데 가르송 용거에서 또바지다 먹을 거나네 예송도와 다 공도 쉬와 난신 진네 라만 체니다 덴바 단다 공도 슈베긴 천이 자상 덴데베 라마 쳬버진 되지 토바이나양 다야 되네 소설 로맨은에 천이 마상와이나 찾아 진부 도바줄에 제투 말에 송말에 대인도자네 단이바데 로맨 천이 시에용요래 대인도 지금 의대나 가르송도서나 찾아 진부 도바줄에 제버 제베게 탑 초도 줘 탑이 약슈데 무구 코나레스 탑시신다 용 말레스 다 무구에 대한 도시 제일 쇼그로와 지난 대바 유바 점지 자신을 도바지에 깔래 카보레 대배 나네야 대반 초도 줄 가지고 그래 나 대인도자네 다 대바데 칸데지고 유미 제일 쇼 되니 조 가르송 말상다 로메긴 천이 되라 다양 지 산제기 도당 덴주 어때나 신도 되니 지 줄라 소바 텐선난도 로메긴 천이다 로메기 예완다면 망보송요래 플라버도 되네 로본 다와타버기 상두기 나라 되네 로마 텐솔라지 젠데나 신기 로마 메토 페마나 신기 로마 노르즘보체 나 신기 로마 이신기 노르나 신기 로마스는 로메기 예와 망보송요래 당가도 텐선나 카르나 추기메 강시로와 어때인도 강들이야 로메긴 천이다 예와 망보요래 다단다 좀 노르도 용도잖아요. 몽징 제체나 가르송 요래서는 로마양 천이 숨대지고 그래 송바다. 천이 숨다 된바. 다 로만 천이 숨다 된바 송도잖아요. 가르된 거래서는 나제 매바지. 라메 가르 송발 델라 태좀 맹겐지. 라마 툭니버 제베기 자와지이나 대두야라 나랑게 쏘된 로송 땅구나양 땅 퉁겐지. 다 텐데기 힘도 비용 켄지. 나제 맹케 라메기 드네 까 가르송바티 로 데우 지그토네 줍툼케 드네 라마니베기 자와직 제구요나 소양 로송땅 퉁게다 텐데기 로만 센덴지 고레서 마다 자자심부 도바질로 제버제발라 다티인도자는 아주 참sam디다와 지 딱대배 캔사로 라메 간주문요 송시기로 와서야 지금 그러와 라메 간주문요 송시기 말에 단지 공도 시에베 라만 천이 텐데지 땡켄징도 톱송아 있나 디 라마 되기 양타바치 마도베 노르웨지다 남솔 네베리 자와니는 송 메시바레 디인도자네 남솔로 데우 제네 강송바데 년초로와 텐데 인도자네 플로메겐 천이라 뭐다 텐데게 차진 숨 상황지 구그레스네 곤진데세나 텐데 송바레 다 이나야 대탐지 촌 노르도 인도자네 네 제된 송공게 송 단다 감범나라 도르지레게 땡주세야 지그레 도르지레게 땡주 디나나 카르송 바르스나 로마세야 대양 달라멘 천이 나신 제네 로멘 천이들 빼만부주 송요레스 이나양 차자 진부기 연된 줄을 제발 제발라 무구 코나 연ken지 유나 드린 천이 상황이 송주요레 어디인도자네 디나신 제네는 단단네 로멘 천이들라 또바제다 무구 코나에서는 송이도와
내가 걔는 뭐 도지 리디 숨 라키고 리치 거래 릭레 리리라 도지 리스
제제제
리디서 마운틴 들어라
요 나래라
Now here the sixth Vajra verses. It is certain that the means for generating realization is only devotion. So here what it shows is that it shows about the quality, what kind of quality that the disciple should have to have in order to realize, in order to have the realization of Maha Mudra. It is stated that the disciple or the followers should have to have the faith or the devotion to its master. Like, for example, the Chandrakirti also stated like the different qualities of the disciples. He stated in his text there some should be like kind of the chandan, the sandalwood, or someone should like kind of the precious the precious stones or something like that. There are different many types of like the quality of the disciples. I'm not sure in which categories we belong to, but whereas if you talk about the Gongchig, and the Gongchig, what is stated is that there are three things. Lord Jesus stated that the disciple should not have to have the ego or the pride towards the master. And also the disciple should be able to give his life for whatever the master has asked for. So if whatever the master has given you the direction, one is able to follow that. This is the second. And try to please the masters. And the third one is one should have to have the devotion to whatever the master said. So sometimes usually we have a problem that, you might be thinking that, oh, our master might be something, he's not really telling the truth, or he's not in the right of what he's saying. So this kind of doubt comes. So that means it's not possible. These are the obstacles actually. So what it says is, if the master have the quality of what we have taught in the preceding verses, we have talked about the three qualities of Buddha. The masters. So if the master has these kind of three qualities, then there's not possible so that the master can deceive the disciples. So therefore, it is not possible. So one should have to have the devotion. We should have to go what the master has said. So also in one of the texts which has been taught by the Lord Jigten, there's the Vajra Mountains, known as Moja Mountain. In that text, in that one of the contexts, it is stated that only the devotion is the doorway to attain the realization of Maha Mudra. Lasola.
La statene mugu sung de nan de toba che de mugu khona re sung ro ba ta mugu se yin de ta tebe ki ming ji ro ba teba dan ro re kama ba me chu dur ji ke tene teba dan mugu se ya ni de tene chebar yo mari sung yo re teba se ya de ta nam ju pe cha tumung ki ke cha res mugu se ya de ga ka ju ba ki tene sik ji re sung bar tin de tunda ji ban ro re ta teba shu ta bo ji la mugu se 다 무구 생도 전에 나선 참sam데 용거와 라마 대기 나라테니지 다 시에게 돈에 좀때 깨제 돈에 깨제 힘보시 드니 님바야나 추양 송들에 지도가 선바지부 유백갑라 드니 라마텔레 대바제 대반로지 다드네 나랑게 네 삼로 땅소르도 멘템바지 케시 라메 제용이는 람상 콘트롤 사초초 유데베 대반로텔라 텔레페시 탄당한 좀 먹으세요 말에 디인도 전에 덴데기 지금 주와 탭초초 유바텔라 탄당 먹으신 거면도 대야데네 탄데 도르지르게 땡주나 가르송요르스나 드네 라마라 소소게 드네지 데바든 투나 대바제 대바다 만투나 라마라 쩐타야게 대바 니체 왔다고 텐데 지라 대바 라이 마레스 무구세 마레스 다오는 무구세야 돼 간데 지레 소는데 자네 저랑 되네 단단데다 라마 데라 되네 산제 추기 꾸임베게다 문에 뉘시 제자 자타마지 추구 임베게 뉘시지 저랑 semna 가두 제송아이나야 다 텔레테니 무근 다르토가 쓰기요레스 데인도 텐데기 무그지 저러나 가두 줄레제나야 때문에 자자친구부터 봐도 줄레 니에토그레 손도와 어텐도 무그세야 돼 때문에 템보지 고구여사래
So here the seventh verses shows that here, when we talk about when we talk about the devotion here, so usually we talk about the faith or the devotion or the faith to the master. These two words are quite similar. so quite relating to each other. And even the Mikkydoji, the Karmapa Mikkydoji stated that these two are actually quite similar to each other. And also, when you talk about the devotion is the strong sense of faith towards the master. And also, when you talk about the devotion, it's not something like that when the teacher shows you a smile and give you the teachings and, according to your like mindset and according to your wishes, then we have a like kind of faith towards our master. But sometimes when the master's teachings are not according to one's own like wishes, then we react in a different way. And this kind of devotion is not really the real devotions. So real devotion means we have to have a very sincere devotions, completely like 100% there, the devotion is 100% there. And this doesn't matter whether the master reacts or you are teaching according to one's own mind wishes. So usually this is what happens in between the master and disciple. Then sometimes, if the master gives a different teachings and if it is not according to one's mindset, then one feel upset and say that this is, but this kind of things shouldn't be happen there. And also Lord Jigten, in this Lord Jigten's text in the Vajra mountains, it is stated that so when you feel like, when you are like feel happy and when the master's teachings were according to your own wishes, then you feel happy and you devote to the masters. But sometimes, if it's not according to your wishes, then, then you don't like it and you don't feel half the devotions. So this kind of changeable and this kind of, the fluctuation, the devotion is not a real devotion. So real devotion is more like, for example, one should have to have the understanding. One should have to have the faith, like in a devotion, like a faith that one's own master is not other than the Dhammakaya. So if you have this kind of devotion, then only it would help us. It will help you to bring about the like realizations, inner realizations of the inner realization of the Maha Mudra. Otherwise, when our devotion changes with the times, according to the master's talks or teachings, which is not which doesn't accord to our wishes, then it's not a real one. So it has to be like the real devotion is like, one should have to have the realization of our one master being in the Dhammakaya, the form of Dhammakaya.
Oh yeah, tene tanda jiten sumgongi sum tabu chujigin dewa tense ya chivire ta pechite di naning inji dan german gate so gan pechi jur saware ta tanda gan David Tonyal ha to yure tin tinang la karison yure isna tene lama la mugu chewe kapso karigo re isna zo yi chi shu chimbu go re sung re karsan sumgi dengne nga jibo당 두보 가르쳐야 있나요? 라마 추라라인스 지도 탐제라 라메 가는 아주 빼도 그런다 이치 자탄 받는 지 지와지 라마 대한 단지 공도 시원한 신천이 되마지고 그러와 다 천이 된데 된게 라마지는 아주 이치치 특유연이라 제 초반제로 어디 인도 전에 된데 이 무그지 여바이나 또 봐줄 지그레스 된데 그 무그지가 가서 라마 대랑 안주지 다탕 저거데 난주게 되는 지파 삼노당당 저거데 라마데 소소지오지 다콩 메지레 소소지오지 300개 다탕지 여바이나 대라드는 연된 강의 지기 말이 송도 다지 전에는 디지 제스기레 배체게 된다 가시지 하고스기레다 시에스기레 소소지오이면 되시유나 대만인 바 자제 전부 도배연데 지금 말해 송발에 소소지오는 되시유나 소소지오근 되시데 인데인 라마데 네 라마데 군에 장주 선바지레 삼네 삼노 텐데지 당와 있나야 주랑기 줄라 장주 선배가 돈바점 지제스기를 마도베 차제칭부 또바 제스기 말레스 근데 송바레 대나신도 다 델레양 토와 녜라마데 산제 뚜베꾸니 삼베스 무그 이치 텐데지 유바이나야 대라 때는 차제칭부 또바 지기 말레스 이나 주랑 지 옌던 자칭부 두토야라 펜토용 그레스 테네 대자마제 녜라마데 산지 롱주 조부꾸인 삼백이 텐데기 지다 이치지 유바이나야 차제칭부 또바 지기 말레스 이나 주랑기 테네지 무유르 내갑 무유르 가신 룹스그레스 따티 지르잖아요 차제칭부 그 또바 양타바지 줄레 지워 제발라 가르고르스나 테네 무근 타도가 산지 추구기 되는 듯이 그레스네 어테네지 송도와 지된 송도 테네 송요 대지그레 테네 테나신도 타단디 무마 조제라 조제기 로마 좀 바세야 지로 조제기 로마 조제그레 근데 공기 조제라 깨져지다와 먼저 별라 지 추인냠네 제 검쟁이 때 빼망부 요레스 이나야지 연대 통계 때에서 윤용도 차대도 삼삼년도 네 가르쳐요나서네 저티다와 조제라 제도자네 조제긴 정말 가르송발스나 인다이스 특별 친부의 연대 최종 강제지 줄을 제고 요나야 청마대 라마나 때네 연대의 줄을 제고 요레스 저런 벌바 속에 라마라 소소 지역은 듯이 모두 야금도 하더니 또배 현대지 가와지그레스는 송도 다 텐소당 된되는 지된 송공기 또바지다 무그 코나이 배송배 거든 상황된다 지관도 지인 그 사례
Dilama shiwasora wala. Shiwasora.
조지 빠데 아디시
Oje atishara.
잘한다 시원 좀 말.
Atishara. So here now the additional for the devotions that so in the four dharma of the Dakpo also stated in the teachings of the four dharma of the Dakpo Rinpoche. This the commentary, like kind of the commentary of the clear word. It is stated that one should have to have one's own masters, like the sincere and pure devotions, not like when you're having happy and then when you're happy that when the master's teachings were going according to you and then you love the master, you devote to the master, but at the same time it doesn't happen according to your wishes, then you devote, your devotion like kind of fluctuated, then it is not real devotions. Like so what it means is like, for example, one should have to have to one's own guru for in terms of like, for example, if you take one's own master, like in the form of the human beings, then we will not have the pure like kind of devotions. And like even if we take like our one's own master as a bodhisattvas, then it is possible that we could able to do some benefit for other sentient beings, but we will not have the ultimate realization of the Maha Mudra. And not only that, even if we could able to take one's own master as the Nirmana Kaya, also that is not a real devotions that one could able to realize the state of the Maha Mudra. And even like one could able to view one master as in a Sambhogakaya, also then this is not that state, the complete state of viewing the masters in the form of the like Dhammakaya, then one couldn't be able to achieve the state of Maha Mudra. So then what is the like ultimate achievement for the devotion? Then the very devotion is that one should have to take one's own master as Dhammakaya. So when you reach to such point, like your devotion to your master is that your master is not other than the Dhammakaya. That is the point that one should take one's own master as a Dhammakaya, not other than Dhammakaya. Then this is the possible, let's say, 100%. If you give the 100% to your master is the Dhammakaya, then you will be able to realize the ultimate nature of the Maha Mudra. Also, the great master Dromtempa. One day he asked the question to the great Atisha. So what he's asked was, in Tibet, there are a lot of people who are doing Dharma, the practitioner here. We have a lot of practitioners here, but at the same time, we don't have a quality. It seems to be only a few people are having the quality. So what is this? And he asked the question to the, say, like Atisha, like this. Then what Atisha said was, yes, there are a lot of people here in Tibet, who are doing the Dharma, who are practicing the Dharma, but somehow they don't have the quality. Why? Because they don't view their master as the ultimate master, that is the Dhammakaya. So because of that, they have no kind of devotion, and so this devotion is lacking to many people here. So therefore, if you lack this kind of devotion, then the quality also will not come. Lasola.
Oh yeah. Adane kondo shebe lama tsenyinda demba inje soso ngone tene mugu tsenyinda demba jiya yu tendeji cha songwa ina tene chaja chimbo toba jula nye songwa tiendu zang da tela tawa se da tawa se andela chida namjunde shijata mambo yorwa samsangando tawa se de sanoji tangdu zane ji umegi pecha tensu tone ma tane sosogi rikpegi shimjugi che takje chene o 추당제 등의 동일의 삼백의 로지 제와 텔라 따와서는 명당에 내 연구로와 대나 생각도 차체인게 빼자던도 마다는 오 차체인나라 추당제 나왔으면 바송도 샘주제인 바송도 대인도 전에 다 텐데지 렌도 삼반도 텐데라야 따와서는 랍시기로와 텐수지다 따와서는 맹다시기래 이는 운에게 따와서는데 마테 말해서 거예요 다 따완 초도 줄바데 가르스나 근데 따위엔 조주로 또바당 바 송도와 따위엔나네 따와 약슈데 초도 줄바데 또바던 덴바데레스 디스르산에 제단 같은 남중 가주게 되네 지 라마 공면 넘버 가르송 그랬으나 고화세야지 명화세야지 냠세야지 또바세야지 숨쉬는 거요래 답변나 차첸다 우메기 빼차던 소나는 것도 따네 마 로용도 다 차첸 그 따완데 지 렌도 와서는 소소 하고 해야지 되와 들 고화세요 때문에 따와 양다고 지 말해 들 고화세요 근데 다동 소소기 줌생톤의 심주지에 썸노땅 줌생톤의 썸노땅에 당문에 단지지 렌도 인사르와 사마로 지금 틀 냠뇽세 다 또바세인도 자네 문에기 라메기 진압데 셈나 쇼 소소기야 라마라드네 문에 주급이 무구디 된 단지지 젠도도 자네 근데 문에게 또바지 줄에 제인 거예요 데라드네 타는데 따와스다 단다가서 뭐 따와 뭐마도 되는 문제 나는 거예요 디지털은 남지 가르쳐 그래서는 고화세야 돼. 남주 배는 슈구 된데 치마주 춘로지주. 근데 잘하신 다지기 들어 잘샤바이나 까마카시 야나 추수카시 데기로 왔더니 고원도 그래. 근데 고화세야 된데 지래. 답변은 차친다. 오메기 빼차도 다들 오다 된데 지렌도서 고화진 얘가지. 근데 야 로직 나와 가시지는 고 제노도 근데 고화세야 된데 지래. 고화 렘바단데 고원은 로스. 고화대 고원도 그랬어. 냠세야디 나웬단데 예도레스 베네 팀반도 지나 차바탄도 요거서 팀바토 본트 용거와 야 데제 lumbun도 자와이나 팀바도 라안도 tin데 냠세야데 같은데 지레스 다 원나 또바세야데 간데 지레스도 또바 남카단데 주바메 송바레 어 텐데 인디 근데 따웨 나니 약슈데 다 또바던데 마세야 데레 다 가르또 고레스도 단지 슈임바 고르와단 양에는데 추담지 랑게 스미임바 또 신대양 이미 자리게 ranshimba 또 다 텐데게 또 바지 줄을 대서 와텔라네 다원 조도 줄바스 뭐 대송 바인사래
So now here, Claude, can you hear me? Like for example, we have with all this kind of quality to our master, and also one should have to have this kind of devotion, these two. And here when we talk about the view, and also like when we talk about the view here, like we talk about the emptiness sometimes, and also Maha Mudra and so forth. And but here, when you talk about here in this the view, here doesn't mean that actually, or what we talk about the emptiness and so forth. Here, when you talk about the view here, it is stated that it is the supreme state, supreme state of realization is the view, and the supreme state of the realization is the view. And here, like so, like in for this one, actually they are, when you talk about the view, like the supreme state of the realization, then there comes 3 points. Like first the understanding, and then it comes like kind of the experience, and also the third one is the realizations. So when we and the first one, the understanding in the sense like it is stated that it's like a kind of paper. You put the water on the paper and you try to stick on the wall. So what happens is after sometimes, after when the wetness or the water was dried off, the paper will come out. It's just like labeling. So just by understanding this, it will not stay a long time. And so like by when the water is like dry, then it comes out. So therefore it is just labeled with the water, something like that. Then the experience here means in the sense that we try to do some examinations, we try to do some investigation and try to figure out what is the nature of it. And at the same time, this also not the ultimate one, because what happens is it's like a kind of the cloud. When there's a rain, the cloud will be there. But what happens is when there is no rain, then when there's a strong wind comes or blows, then the cloud will be drawn away by even the experience itself is not stable there. And of course, the understanding is not stable and the experience is not stable. So what is the ultimate one, the real view here we are talking about is the realizations. So what is the realization here now? The realization here means the kind of the blessings that one have oneself, that one could able to view one's own master as a Dhammakaya, and also like one's own mind, like kind of the nature of one's own mind, and all the nirvana and samsara are just the mere nature of the mind. So it's like this, the realization is something like that. It's like a sky, vastness, and also never ending and never changing nature or phenomena of the sky. So in the same way, if we have a realization, this is what we have in our mind, that is the realization. So it is stated that, so once we are able to realize that one's own master as like a Dhammakaya, and also the understanding of that the nature of phenomena such as like the samsara and nirvana and whatever, these are all actually the essence, the nature of our mind, ultimately in our mind. If we have this kind of understanding of this kind of feelings or realization, then that is the ultimate realization. And this is also known as the view here. When we talk about the view, meditation, and conduct, this is actually what we in the Kajipa traditions. This is known as what we mean by the view. That's all.
다 되네 돌송 제바 되게 침부숨지 말이 또 벤초 송도와 다들 송도 전에 단다 공도 쉬베 따와 약슈데 또 받았네 말이에요 송송 또바 대양 침부숨기 말이과 서도 전에 이 차자 침부긴 나 차자 침부 간주 따와데 차자 침부이 삼백인 짐바기 되니 마징바 야낭에 따와데 조바 침부이 삼부 조첸기 짐베 마징바 야낭에 따와데 우마 침부이 삼는 우메긴 짐베 마징와 땡전에 덴데기 침부숨진 짐바다 자르에게 또바데 근데 또바 줘도 줄바레스 어땡전에 짐바 탐제다 자르든 또바지 줄에 제고레 세 대송바레
So here, as the 8 Vajra verses, it stated the supreme realization is not reached by the 3 great systems. So here, when we talk about realization or the view, so ultimate view or ultimate realization should not be like associated with these 3 things. So what are these 3 things? Like that our view is not associated with the like taking us the grasping to the sense that my view is like a kind of the supreme view. My view is associated with the Maha Mudra, or my view is the highest view which is associated with the Sopa chamber, or my view or my ultimate view is associated with the like kind of the great Umapas or the great middle path or the middle way. So whatever the view we have to have the devoid of these three things, the grasping to these 3 things. So if it is associated with this kind of these three levels, like Maha Mudra, Soba Chamber, and also the Uma Chamber, then our view is no longer a right view. It is already contaminated because of the attachment or the like grasping to the view through such kind of labeling of our view. So therefore, whatever the views or whatever the like realization, ultimate realization, so this view or realization should be avoid or devoid of these 3 great systems.
다 되네 돌지송 그바되게 가르송도스는 투섬 금배 돈이 슐거링 송도와 다 대송도 전에 다치다는 투섬 금송 제야요 말에 노트르 송도 말에 단단디야 문에게 타르투게 따웨 또 계제 송되게와 타르투게 따와데 간제지 이미 돈대신한데 요래 내가 랑한도 투섬 금송 고요로와 단 타르투기 따완다오지나 따와지를 담아이나 난소에 되네지 다 자자 진부기 용된데가 투바체네 되네 작생기 내로 로징한도 하고와 지요로와 되는지 되는 투베기 동이 있어요 투베기 자자 진부 되네 양한도 삼로단에 오다 최담제기 란신데 나와 담제 섬기 란신 렌도 샘대양 이자당 차와 되네지 렌도 삼네 다지 삼로로 땅네 심주기 전에 그냥 하고와 지용으로와 덴데게 동니암 내로 태당 니 드네야 나랑소 검자와 나시 다 추에 담제 내로 찾아 전부 검도요 짐바 탐제 잘고레 삼기 요래데 짐베기 찡데베 검지 용으로 한가도 남지 자친 공기요 짐바 잘고레 삼기 요래데 짐바 잘고레 삼데바 대가란 짐바 차도요와 딘다 델 검 덴데기 검 대에서게 덴데고 투섬 검송데 동니 대 드네야 문에 자친게 따웨게 나와이나 쇼사당 고사레스 다치단 쇼사당 쇼사세인도 자는 안도 모라당긴 사와지기 모라당용 가서 다 람가 카투 로 모토네 람가 마이 바지가 마 쇼송한다고 지 안간데는 론은 되게 매번 하고 그 쇼송한다고 지 용으로와 된다고 지 골세인도 자네 하마고네 되네 양람 너와라 셈도 같은 용으로와 되나신도 투섬 검송도 돈이 된도데 문에 자자 전부 내루게 돌아다니는 랩도 말해스 대인도 전에 다 투섬 곰숨len 대백이 되니 자자 친구지 또 그래. 세야 대송 그래. 투섬 곰베 돈이 쇼르고인스탄디 쇼르사다 코르세 코르탄 쇼르사라 쇼르사 예와 예스는 소는 거요. 다 드니 바십자 치엔도는 쇼르사 제 요래. 쇼르사 제 코르사 숨든도 망본도 지 요래 텐소 차ချင်း기 틱 던도나도 드니지 십탄도 세로 데스 사칸도 치네 단당에 Gongchig Devatinaya, this tea, Tina, Tanzuti Mong Balangazoyanchi Tusura, Yana Chitini Kale Kale, Jis Hakoya Chena, Taltanda Shena, and Tusumambo and Gondos, Tin to Kandarian, to some Gombe, Tunite, Tartugutumbani, the Mares, Tartuganello de Mare, Tin design Telen Debachi, two big Yulen Deba, some big Yulen Deba. 나랑 쪽에 곰베기 율렌 대바지래 찾아신분 내려오대 어디인도 전에 다 델렌 대베기 되는 또바지 줄을 제고 그래서 해야 되단 말이에요.
Here the ninth Vajrarosis, the emptiness that is an object of learning, contemplation, and meditation, is a way of stirring and deviations. And what it means here is usually when we practice that one through the like when you are practicing the Maha Mudra or whatever, usually like through the like listening, first we have understanding of listening, through the listening, then you have a like kind of understanding of the Maha Mudra, and also by like contemplating, you have a like thinking about the meaning and doing some kind of like investigations, or then you have a different kind of understanding there. And also at the same times when you're doing the meditations or like kind of experiencing it, you have a different kinds of like a high level of like kind of understanding the meaning. But whatever these three things, listening, contemplating, and meditating, if you have a strong sense of grasping for that, because of listening, I have this kind of understanding. Because of contemplations, I have this kind of understanding. And also because of meditation, I have this kind of understanding. And now I have a very good kind of realizations. If you have a grasping for that, these three things, then this is the point where you miss the point, or where you are like, where you divert your directions, from divert from the right directions. You miss the point in the same way like you are driving a car, sometimes driving a motor car or whatever. But what happens is sometimes you miss the way because of you're not really, kind of aware of the road. And sometimes without understanding, you divert the road from the right directions, then you miss the way. This is how these two are also the diverting the, and also the grasping to the listening, contemplating, and meditations are also the point where you are diverted to the wrong way or where you miss the way. So for this here, when you how you miss your way, there are 4 different kind of missing the way or diverting the right way. And also there are 8 different kinds of talking about this, the diversion, the wrong way. And when you talk about the teachings of the Maha Mudra and all this, there are many like kind of the diversions, the diversion to the wrong way. And I've also written the book on this. And right now we don't have much time to talk about it. And in the near future, if you have time, we'll go detail about it. So therefore, the point here is that, like for example, when we are doing contemplation, listening, and meditation or whatever, one should have to go beyond that grasping mind. Then only it would be like kind of the perfect realizations. Otherwise, we are still kind of in the point, in the platform where we are like missing the real path, missing the right directions.
Atene dorson chubadereda, dorson chubadegi karsombasna toba kombarcheba gumbates. Tandi inche de tawa se ate kolan deshe dordu shu simbare. 다 gomba saya de tawa gomba chebas yorwa 다 gomba saya de kanjigre sendane 제가 ngazo namju gom jao saya tela deseni yungre 탑기 냠랭이 돌아 gomjaya 직당 시럽기 냠랭이 돌아 gomjaya 니 용거요. 근데 단데 쪽 가서는 시럽기 냠랭이 돌아 gomjaya 디 gom된 문제 나는 거요. 그래서 땡도 지단 탑기 냠랭이 돌아 gomjaya 세도잖아요. 장바 gom이야, hin지 gom이야, 다 지우서바 gom이야 된대기만 보용 거와. 근데 탑기 차게 되는 냠랭이 돌아 gom바래. 지단 gom세야 되고 gom리 땡야 지로와 장바다 hin지 섬에 양양도 gom리 지야 되라. 장바 gom바 hin지 gom바 세요와 다 단단되네 시럽기 되네 냠네 곰버체바데 간데지고 가르 곰고로 센데 다 젠다 개요 말이 단지 공도 똑바지 줄에 찌그레 송소 따완초도 줄바지 요와 따완초도 줄바 대니기 토라 양양도 곰지 제바텔라 되네 곰스네 송바인 바레스 딘두 델레심바 젠요 말에 송바 또바 곰버체바 곰바테스
So here the 10th Vajra verses, meditation is the habituation to realization. So what it means here is right up to here, like in these the preceding verses, Vajra verses, we have talked about up until here, we have talked about the viewpoint in the terms of view we have talked here. And now it is talking about the meditations in terms of meditation. And when we talk about the meditation, what do we do for the meditation? Then it is stated that like meditation here, it talks about there are two things. One is like meditation in terms of the method aspect and meditation in terms of the wisdom aspect. And here, like here is actually mainly focused on the meditation in terms of the wisdom aspect. Actually, there are like meditation on the like method aspects such as like the loving kindness and compassion and so forth. This is also the meditation on the method aspect. But here what we talk about is we talk about the meditation in terms of the wisdom aspect. So now the question comes, what is the like a meditation of the like the wisdom aspect? Means like the one we have talked about the view here, we already talked about the view. What is the view? That is the ultimate view, the supreme view. This is the view we have to practice it. And it is stated that this is the view which one should contemplate on it, or one should make familiarize with the view, or make habituate, or to make familiarize with the view again and again, and meditate on this view more over again and over again and again for that practice. This is known as the, when you meditate on this such kind of realizations over and over again. So this is known as the meditation. Lasso. So today we can stop here.
nani ne zo yang mutu dagum jibe chonde chanru do
So from like day after tomorrow we are going to finish the this one, view, meditation, and conduct.
No, yo sonam ye tamje zebani thomne nibe danam phamje de jega nan jem bolong chubai seben cholen rowan rower sho lama gungam samwara surwan de jodo guzeren wara surwan tille tarjen je bara surwan de lama dan darwa mebra jenje lo jambe bawe chidran jamba Gundo zambo teyan tejinde deda kunje jiso dalus gewan deda tamje ramdo hoy sanje gusum nyebe chenlav dan chuni minjuru dembe chenlav gendu meche dembe chenlav je chedran huyjim malam drumbar jo Dadang Hunde Tam Jeje Dusum Saba Yube Gewe Zawan De Dada Simjen Tamshi Nyurdu Lana Meba Yang Tabra Zobe Chanchu Rinpoche Tobra Churunji Sheja Gunze Gunchen Chuje Je Tendre Nela Want Dikong Bai Rinchen Barje Demba Sinte Bar Shedu Tusam Gomben Zinjuru Je Chanchu Simcho Rinpoche Maje Panam Jejuru Jeba Nyamba Mebarayang Kone Kondun Pevar Sho Aso.
Thank you so much, Khenchen Rinpoche La. Thank you so much, Khenpola, Lama, and all interpreters. And have a nice weekend. We see you next week.
Aso. Sani nani gonaru wa?
那你准备了，得说了，你到。
是吧？
所以
这类是。
next week. Next week.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
See you on Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Khenchen La, Khenpola.